Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello everyone. My name is Syafiq Ulshaidi bin Zazali from class E7, and my partner name is Muhammad Akil Irfan bin Mazlan. Today we want to do task 1 in continuous assessment task for subject effective communication in English. The code course is GEEC 1052. In this course, we will talk by Madam Ranjini. Task 1 is group discussion, and the question give a 4 issue, but we take issue D, which is the title is transitioning from rote learning to critical thinking. The question has given stimulus for us. I read first and then we go to our discussion. The stimulus is despite curricular emphasis on higher order thinking skills, thoughts, many students rely heavily on rote memorization to pass examination. Analysts why students struggle with independent analytical tasks and suggest engaging classroom method teachers can use to successfully cultivate critical thinking. Alright, Akil, do you have a moment before we dive in?
Of course, Shafiq. So our topic today is transitioning from rote learning to critical thinking. Even though our curriculum pushes higher order thinking skill, many students are still learning hard on memorization just to scrape through their exams.
That's exactly the part that bothers me. I have seen it myself during practicum. Students can rattle off the textbook answer perfectly, but the moment a question is phrased a little differently, they freeze. It honestly worries me because it means they are passing on paper without really grasping the thinking behind it.
I feel the same way.
So, before we throw out solution, would it be alright if we work through this properly using the ideal model? Identify, define, explore, act, and look back. That way, our final answer is something we have actually reasoned through, not just a quick guess.
I like that. Let's keep us from jumping to conclusion. Let's start with identify the problem properly then.
Alright, let's continue. Akil, if you don't mind, let me start with what I think is the most fundamental cause here. In a lot of schools, success is still measured almost entirely by exam scores. So naturally, students start treating learning as collecting information to dump on the exam paper rather than actually understanding it. You can see this clearly. A student can reproduce definition, formulas, model answer flawlessly, but the moment they are given an unfamiliar situation that needs interpretation or judgment, they struggle. And honestly, that's quite concerning to me because it means a student can look academically strong on paper while being completely unprepared for real decision making. So, my question to you, do you think assessment culture is the main driver here, or is there something else equally significant?
That is a fair starting point, Shafiq. But I would like to widen the lens a bit. It's not just about how we assess, it's also about how we teach. Teachers are under constant pressure to finish the syllabus in the time. So, lesson often end up teacher-centered, where information just handed to students instead of explore together. And I find that unfortunate because it turns students into passive recipients rather than active thinker. So, all I agree assessment play a role. I would argue teaching practice is just as influential. Maybe the truth is those two factors fit into each other.
That's a compelling way to put it. It shows this isn't just a student fault issue. It's systemic. So, if I summarize where we are at: 1. An exam culture that rewards recall. 2. A teaching culture that prioritizes finishing content over real exploration. Would you say those two should form the basis of our problem definition?
Yes, clearly. Sorry. And I will add, they are not separate problems, they reinforce each other. If exam keep testing recall, teachers will keep teaching for recall. And if teaching stay teacher-centered, students never get the chance to build independent reasoning. So, I think we have nailed down the core issue. Now that we have identified the case, let's pin down the problem more precisely. Critical thinking have become a must-have skill these days. University and empire want people who can analyze, evaluate, and make sound judgment on their own. But the reality is a lot of students still struggle with open-ended tasks that need justification or original thinking, because memorized answer was always what from them in exam. Honestly, I find the quick alarms. A student can look successful on paper while being under paper of actual work decision. So, I would define our problem as students simply are not given enough chance to practice critical thinking in authentic situation. Does that sit right with you, or you adjust it?
I mostly agree with them, but let me define it slightly. I don't think students lack the capability to think critically. I think they lack consistent exposure to learning experience that actually build that skill. It wouldn't be fair to assume they are incapable when really the environment around them just hasn't been giving them the chance. So, how about we settle on this? Students are overly dependent on rote memorization because they are not provided with sufficient structure opportunities to develop and practice critical thinking skills.
That's a sharper way to frame it, Shafiq. And I like that point to fit the system rather than blaming the students. I think we have got our problem statement working.
Alright, we discuss about strategy.
Right.
Here's my first idea. A lot of teachers, often without realizing it, give away the answer too quickly, which robs students of the chance to think it through themselves. Research has shown that good questioning technique push deeper cognitive processing and force learners to actually justify their reasoning. And honestly, I noticed students get a lot more switches on when they are asked why something happened, rather than just asked to recall what happened. So, my suggestion, teachers should learn on Socratic questioning. For example, why do you think that? What evidence support that? Could there be another way to look at this? This push student toward analysis instead of recall. What do you think, Akil?
I fully on board with that, and I would like to build on it. We could bring technology into the mix here, using platform like Padlet, Kahoot, or even Google Classroom discussion board. I generalize these digital tools help here, especially for theatre students who can express their thinking without the pressure of speaking up in front of the class.
Wow, that's a great enhancement. But I'm a little cautious. Not every school has equal access to that kind of technology. Would it be more realistic to treat digital tools as optional support rather than something essential to the strategy?
Fair point, I agree. Questioning is the core strategy. Technology is just the bonus layer when it's available. Let me bring in a second strategy. Critical thinking really develops best when students apply it in something real. Project-based learning has them investigate actual issue, what evidence, and come up with their own solution. Say project on environmental, sustainable, or community problem that need research and evidence-based answer. I find this approach especially meaningful because it turns students from basic learning into active problem solving.
Oh, I see the value in that, definitely. But I do want to raise a concern. PBL usually demands a lot of planning time, clear assessment criteria, and quite a bit of classroom management. I worry some teachers already stretched in might struggle to run inconsistently. What if we keep it periodic instead of running it every lesson? Would that be a fair compromise?
That is a sensible call. Running it periodically, keep it sensibly, with still giving students take authentic hand-on experience.
Alright, here's another angle worth considering. Most students only really meet hot start questioning during major exam. So, naturally, they are unfamiliar with that kind of analytical thinking when it actually counts. I think that's a real problem. We are expecting a skill from them that they have barely had the chance to practice. So my suggestion, scaffold the questioning progressively across the cognitive level, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So, students build up that confidence step by step rather than being thrown into the deep end during exam.
Yes, I really bet this one. In fact, I would say this strategy goes straight to the root cause to identify the lack of structure opportunity to practice critical thinking. Alright, one last idea from me. Students tend to understand thinking more more empathy when they have to explain it to someone else. There is actually research behind this showing teaching both retention and metacognitive awareness. I find it especially available because it forces students to rework the information in their own words instead of just memorizing. So, teachers could run peer teaching session where students explain concept, defend their point, and find question and field question from classmates.
Oh, I'm completely with you on that. And the best part is, it costs nothing and work in pretty much any school setting, no matter how limited the resources are. Alright. Okay, Akhil. We have got 4 strategies on the table now. But our task here is to land on one consensus, not just list everything. My take, scaffolded hot questioning should be our main recommendation. Simply because any teacher in any subject can apply it immediately without extra resources or training.
I get where you come from, but I would actually push off project-based learning to take the lead instead. If giving students a genuinely authentic platform to apply critical thinking in real situation, which it actually what the issue brief point to as missing in the independence, analytic task, questioning, will thinking instead the classroom. PBL strict that thinking beyond it.
That's a strong argument, honestly. But I'm still a bit concerned PBL alone might be too heavy, time and resource wise, to be our primary, immediately workable solution, especially for schools that are already stretched. Could we combine both instead of picking one over the other?
That's actually the most balanced way to settle this. Scaffolded as questioning become our everyday foundation, and project-based learning become the predicate, deeper application that consolidates what build day to day.
Oh, that's worked really well for me, and it's naturally fall in our other 2 ideas. 2 digital tools can support the daily questioning when school have access, and peer teaching fits right into the PBL session when students present and explain their project to each other.
Yes, I agree completely. So, to lock it in, daily scaffolder hot questioning as our foundation, periodic PBL with clear reasoning rubric as the deeper application, and digital tools plus the per teaching as supporting layer. Are we fully aligned on this?
Yes, fully aligned. I think it is balanced, realistic, and goes right back to the root problem we identify at the start.
Same here. And honestly, neither of our original proposal won outright. To actually negotiate and merge our strongest point into one solution that feel like a real collaboration.
Okay. Before we wrap up, let's stress test our solution a bit. Does it actually solve the over-reliance on rote memorization?
I would say yes. The daily questioning restrain classroom habit. While the periodic PBL gives students the authentic application base, it is practical enough of most school though, include the under-resourced one.
I think so. The core of it, questioning and project work, barely needs any resources, and digital tools are only ever optional. Is it something that will actually hold up long term, not just a one-off fix?
I believe it will, because it is not tied a single event. It will work into everyday teach and periodic assessment design. I'm satisfied this meet what the task is asking for, practical and workable.
Same here. I think we have reached a solid, well-reasoned consensus.
So, to sum up, we found the statement. We found the student depends on your learning large, come from an exam drive, assessment culture and teach center in interaction. After weight a few alternatives, we settle on scaffolded house questioning as our daily foundation, with project-based learning as a project paper application supported by digital tools and per teaching.
And to close, moving from rote learning to critical thinking isn't just a curriculum change. It needs real, sustained shift in how classroom actually run day to day. If we keep giving students benign room to question, analyze, evaluate, and create, we end up shaping learners who are not just exam smart, but benignly capable of handling real world problems on their own.
Thank you, Shafiq. This was a really productive discussion.
Likewise, Akil. Thank you everyone.